Hi everyone and welcome back. Welcome to my playlist. And in this playlist we are covering some HackerRank test. Okay, these HackerRank tests are some subjective questions, like they will give you the assignment on the HackerRank. You have to write the code, you have to pass the test cases, and they will give you some scenario. And that scenario would look like this readme file. Okay, and what this readme file contains, let's have a look. So this is HackerRank React shopping cart application. Okay, they will give you the very basic skeleton of the code, okay, like this, and they will give you this animation which will tell you what this overall application is doing, right? Like initial state of this whole application is just a add to cart button. Now when you click on plus minus, you are adding items to the cart, removing the items to the cart. When you don't have any item in the cart, you should see only add to cart. Okay, but when the item is added, you should see the item 1, right? So this is the initial state of your application. What we need to do, we need to see, and now if you see the overall structure of this React app, it's already there. What you need to do, you need to write a handler for add to cart, plus minus. You need to populate the data in your shopping cart, and we don't need to show all these buttons all the time. When the item is already added, then you will just show plus minus. If item is not there in the cart, then you should see add to cart. That you can understand easily through this animated GIF. It is giving you every picture. Okay, what is the original state when you click on to one button. So this is very important before you even start your application, because this will give you the overall picture, and that will help you to also pass the test cases, because you are going to write the application based on this animated GIF. So you see initial state is add to cart. When you click onto it, the item is added. Now you can increase and decrease. When you decrease the item quantity, then it will become the button will become add to cart. And here we are maintaining the quantity and item name. That is important. Here we have item name and the quantity that we need to show in the cart. So currently this is our application not doing anything, plus minus no actions. Okay, so we need to do that, like we need to write a handlers so that we can populate the React state will have, okay, this item is added in the cart, what is the quantity? When you click on plus, increase the quantity. When you click on -1, decrease the quantity. If your quantity is 0, then show add to cart button. That's the only thing we need to do in the whole application, right? So let's get started. Here you can see this description also. Click on each add to cart button will add the items, right? You can increase the quantity, decrease the quantity, and here each product has a name, price, ID, image, and cart quantity. Cart quantity is something which we are going to use to show the number, and you don't need to change any IDs in the JSX because the test cases are dependent on that. Okay, so let's get started. Here is our product list and here is our app.js. So we are going to play some logic on the product list, because in the product list you can see add to cart, remove, add, all these buttons are there, right? So there are two files we are going to touch upon. One is the app.js, which is a parent component. Here we are having, this is the common state. Cart items are empty because there is nothing inside the cart, and the products are nothing but a mock data which we are getting from, I think here these are the some props. These are, you can say, some data which we are getting from somewhere. We put that data in the state, and same data we are passing in the product list component. Okay, so our product list is able to show the product because we are getting product from somewhere. It has a name, quantity, cart quantity is initialized with 0, ID is starting with the 1, 2, 3, 4, and every cart item has an image. That's it. This is existing code. We don't need to touch anything. Now when you click on to add and remove, because this is the parent component, so we have to write a lot of logic here to do the calculation. What is the current state of the cart, what is the current state of the product based on the product quantity and all, right? So before doing that, we'll go to the product list and write our handlers here. Our handlers will be the on-click methods on these places. Like when you are doing add to cart, we have to write a handler, right? So here what we do is, this is add to cart. So we'll write on click handler, on click this dot handle click, and we will have, this is a remove, so we'll have another handler here. We will define that, and this is another button. So we can have two different handlers, remove handle click and add handle click. Let's say this, we can say add and remove. So we have all these three methods, add and remove and handle, right? So handle click, which is nothing but adding an item. So here we can say these are functions. We can use arrow function, and we already are getting the product, right? How we have written this, we are, so whenever the on click is clicked, we are passing the product from this loop, right? So whenever you click on add to product, means this product you have added. So we got the product, this is the handle click. Similarly, we can write other methods. So there is a remove handle click, and then add handle click. Okay, everywhere we are passing the product because this product is getting added, removed. Now we can actually call the parent component. Let's say we can say this dot props dot handle add. Not handle add means it can be removed also. So handle add or remove, simple. This we are going to do on all because this is the one common method we are going to invoke, and here we can specify that this product is getting added or removed. So when you click on add to cart, that means you are adding. When you say remove from cart, that means you are removing. And here whenever you are saying I want to add, that means you are adding. So there is a minus button, that is remove, and there is add to cart, that means add, and there is a plus button, that means also add. Okay, now we'll handle this in our parent component. What the parent component will do, okay, so we have this product list. Here we are calling this callback method, and this dot handle add and remove, we'll just put the same method name, and here we can define that method as an anonymous function. Here we are getting the product, and action is add and remove, and then here we will do the state updates. Okay, means here is this is the place where we are going to update the cart items based on, you click on add, remove, we just increase the items, decrease the items, add the item into the cart, right? So here you can say we can just do the condition, maybe let's write some dirty code, because our objective is to compile the test cases. So everything is passing. If action is add, means you are either clicking on the add to cart or the plus button. So we have the items inside this dot state dot cart dot items, right? So let's create a copy of it. This dot state dot cart dot items. Now I can play with this. Now the important part is, what if the item already exists and you are adding? What if the item already exists and you are adding? That means you will just increase the quantity when you click on plus, right? Or when you click on add to cart. Add to cart means the item will not be exist, but for safe side we can add a condition. Whatever the button you are doing, plus or add to cart, you will check the item is there in the cart or not, right? So const, here we will just check const if item exists is the proper name, is item exist. Here we will do items dot filter, and we will just check item dot id if it is same as product.id which we have just passed. Okay, this should give us an array if this array of length is greater than 0, and this is safe side because if it is empty array then it is fine. So if item exists, that means item is there, right? We don't need to add it from the scratch, we just need to increase the quantity, new items, and here we will just say items.map. Here we will just create a new object from the items. Here we will just check if the item.id is same as the product which we are passing id, then increase the quantity for this. I think it's cart quantity plus 1. This is fine, and we just need to return I because we have to return, and it will give us the new items. Okay, once this is done, so there are two cases. If this is fine, I mean in this particular case of if block, that means we got the new items, item already exists, so we will just say this dot set state. This is actually class based component, and what we will do is we have a cart object, and inside this we have items, and we can say now we have new items there. This is the if condition when item already exists. Now we have else part of this. Else part of this means the cart, the product item doesn't exist and we are adding something new, right? But still we need to increase the product quantity, and we just simply push product dot cart quantity equal to 1 because you are adding it, and we just push this dot state dot cart dot items new product. Now just set the state item. I mean a lot of people use it in different way using the callback with the set state. It's a simple one, and this is items and the new state of the items which we have already pushed, right? This is a simple scenario of add. Either you click on add to cart, or you click on the plus button. What if you are doing a minus, right? So this is our if. Now let's say we are adding a condition, else if your action is remove, right? When you are clicking onto the minus button means you wanted to remove. That means now it should be simple. We already have the item, that's why you are clicking onto the remove, right? So we don't need to check if the item exists. We'll just create a copy, decrease the quantity, and that's it. But there is one catch here is we also need to check if the quantity is 0, right? Then you don't need to click on minus, right? So we just create the clone first. So logic, you can think about it. What we are doing is first we are creating the clone. Now we are saying new items, items.map. What we are going to do is we are saying, okay, we got the new item set because the item has been removed. So we have to remove the item. So let's say I, and here same logic. Here the quantity will we just decrease the quantity instead of increasing it. So here if.id product.id, that's it. We are just decreasing the quantity. Okay, that's cool. And now the logic here is, if let's say if there is only one item in the cart and you click on minus, that means now the cart quantity is 0. So those items we need to filter, we need to remove those set of items from the cart, right? So we can just do a filter, and we are holding the cart quantity I dot if cart quantity is equal to 0, only those should go into the cart, right? So what we did is we removed the first count. That's it. Like if there is a 2, it will become 1. If there is a 1, it will become 0. But finally we need to put only those items in the cart where the quantity is more than 1. Now this is simple. We just do the set state, this dot set state, and we have items and we got the new items. Okay, now we can just check if we are passing the state correctly. We have product list, we are handling the action, passing the state, and this dot state dot cart, right? Now let's see the cart component. Inside cart component we need to, so there is item, there is a quantity, cart item dot name, cart item dot quantity, right? Because we are publishing the cart quantity, and because these test cases are tricky, right? So if your cart quantity is not equal to 0, then do not display anything in the cart. We are already taking care of this while adding and removing that. If cart quantity is now 0, remove this from the state. Okay, now let's see this. We need to refresh this because on-click handlers are added. So are we getting any error? Let's see that. Okay, so we have saved all our code. This is our app.js, this is our product list, all the handle actions, handle add and remove, product. Okay, let's check this one more time. On click event is there, on click is there, on click event is there, and this is the cart quantity. Let's see if we are getting any errors, and then we'll debug this. Maybe some method name is we placed wrongly. Yes, this handle click is not a function. Okay, let's go to our code. This dot add handle click, this handle click, it is talking. I think there is a typo. Okay, this is correct now. Let's check the callback name is correct or not. Okay, this is fine. Let's see now. So this is typically a 1-hour exercise when you do it on the HackerRank. Okay, things are now coming up. You can optimize the state change and all later. Now I think quantity is also increasing. This is good, but we don't need to show plus minus button until unless the item is in the cart. Okay, this is fine. If I keep it 0, it should be removed. Yeah, our basic logic is working. Now we just need to add some conditional checks. Okay, if the in the product list, if the cart quantity is greater than 1, then we need to just show add to cart. Add to cart need to be shown if your cart quantity is 0. That means the item has not been added yet. Something like this. And if you need to show this plus or minus, you need to show this plus counter only if your cart quantity is greater than 0. So let's go here. If this is greater than 0, and similarly we have another. So if this is greater than 0 and we have add button, that should also come up when the quantity is greater than 0. Just additional checks, right? For remove the cart, we would be removing, we should see the remove button when there is a item already added. We should see the quantity when the item is already added. We should see the add button when the item is already added. So the same conditional checks everywhere. Okay, I missed this. This will be here. Now we should see the buttons only if there is a condition matching, and then we are done. We can run the test cases. So there is a minus. Why this minus is coming? Remove. Okay, here we missed the condition. This button should also come up when there is a item already added in the cart. Okay, let's see this now. And then we'll just run the test cases. Yes, things are good. So here the final objective is not to do this, but also pass the test cases. Sometimes the label is not matching, you haven't put the proper condition. So for all those things, the test case will fail, and you need to see which particular test case is failing, because if I don't add this condition, then my test case will fail, because I'm showing this minus button even the item is not added in the cart. Okay, so this is all about. I will also put this code on the GitHub. Thanks everyone.